Hey, comrades. It's almost time. Time to get this shit over with. Yep, we're here to talk about Modern Warfare 3, the new one. It is right in the middle, as the gameplay for the single-player game is pretty trash. I don't know if it's more or worse, better or worse than the first game, to be honest. It's definitely worse than the second game. Story's also kind of garbage. It's a lot more character assassination for Makarov specifically, but also Price and McTavish kind of as well. So, all right, let's ruin one of the best villains of all time, shall we? This complete travesty begins in Verdansk, which is just another made-up location that we have been to before, specifically Modern Warfare 1, and it is as the first level. So I haven't talked about this that much, but these kind of like make-believe countries and levels and stuff tend to come from the Warzone thing. And so Verdansk is this huge, like, there's like this whole canon story that takes place in the war zones, right? And they steal the maps and put them in these things and whatnot. For the most part, I just ignore the Warzone stories. Like, I've brought them up occasionally, or like some of these special operations stories that kind of like, oh yeah, if you ever wondered what happened to like Hadir, for example, you beat him in like the Modern Warfare 2. Oh, I guess I'm bringing that up now. I don't think I've mentioned that before. So Hadir, whatever happened to that guy, you join up with Farah in the special operation co-op thing, online Warzone thing, whatever, as part of after the Modern Warfare 2 storyline, and you take care of him there. I don't know exactly what happens, but whatever. Also, Perseus, that whole situation was taken care of from the Cold War, like Warzone's post story or whatever. And a lot of that stuff's taken care of in like the Verdansk storyline as part of that. And so Verdansk has been around for a minute, even though it doesn't really come up in the actual Black Ops games and timeline. It does exist, and unfortunately plays some role in some of this awful bullshit that's going on. So if you're really interested, which I am not, you can go to the fandom website where I had to look up to get some of this stuff sometimes, and I was like, the fuck happened here? And at some point I was like, okay, maybe I'll cover this, even though I'm not going to play the Warzone storyline. And I started reading it, and I was like, I just don't give a fuck. It's really not brought up that much. It's like the storylines are just like the storylines in the Warzone will reference things that occurred, and it'll deal with like characters like Adler even. But if you ignore them, it just the main game just like continues forward. And the way the Black Ops does it, you don't really miss too much. It's like, oh, what's Adler been doing all this time? Oh, he's doing some crazy shit. Like, all right, moving on. It's like, that's believable. Meanwhile, it's like what happened to Hadir and all these like nuclear weapons and stuff. And it's like, well, you better have played that Warzone mission. And like, God damn it, Modern Warfare games, I hate you so much. Oh my gosh. So anyway, we start off this game again in Verdansk. We're assaulting this prison with this like Russian. We're playing against this like Russian PMC group, and I vaguely mentioned this in the Modern Warfare 2 games. It's the Coney group. It's the guys who stole the missiles from Shepard and Graves and set that whole fucking thing off. They get brought up that one time ever. So why were these assholes, you may wonder? Oh, I'm bringing someone out of prison. This level is actually pretty fun. It's one of the best missions in this entire game. So it starts off strong. And this, again, it's kind of like aping on the Prison Break a level from the first Modern Warfare, the good Modern Warfare games, as well as the Black Ops Prison Breaks. But it sucks. In comparison, it sucks. It's just not as good. Like, I look back at like Black Ops 1 and that whole Prison Break we did out of, you know, with Reznov and everything, and it's like, man, that was so fucking epic. And this is like, we just roll in, kill some guys, scroll down, kill some more guys. It's like, anyway, but for like the Modern Warfare games, this level is like one of the top 5 levels. Easy. It's awful. It makes me so sad. And despite the story being just completely terrible, like I mentioned before, a couple of levels in this one are pretty good. Like, they kind of refine the gameplay a bit, especially from the first Modern Warfare. The second one, some of the levels are all right as well. But I'd say to the top 5 levels of all 3 of these games, at least 3 of them just take place in this one alone. So, you know, it's kind of funner. And spoiler alert, there's some of these levels, like I would say the majority of the single player levels are just Warzone maps with fucking orange guns and everything. When I say orange guns, it's a classification of, like, you play Diablo or you play World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14 or any of these games, you get items and then you get like better items and they're just like a different color. It's like a gacha game mechanic. And so you can literally get, it's like purple, I think it's blue, purple, gold, which is pretty standard across the industry. And so you can, if you find like a gold item by happenstance in like one of these crates in one of these Warzone levels, the whole level is like a complete joke. And even if you don't, the levels are complete jokes. Like, they're not fun, they're not clever, they're just awful. And we'll get more to that in a second. So 3 teams from Coney Group are assisting in this prison break. There's Alpha Team, and that's who we are. Then there's a Bravo Team. So we're the Alpha Team guy. We sneak in, we help Bravo Team sneak in, and then Charlie makes a frontal assault, which, you know, good planning and all that. We then we're then sent in to rescue the prisoner. We kill our way into the prison, and it's dun dun dun. It's Makarov. Why is he here? We don't know. He just fucking is. We find out later, actually, so that's not the worst. So we kill our way out of here, but we get stopped by a helicopter, and then we have to sneak our way out of here. At some point, oh, and then there's like a big celebration. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, no, that happens later. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so once he sneaks out and they get on the boat and they're riding away, we switch over to Lieutenant Colonel Price and gang. And it's been a year. So the chances of Lieutenant Colonel Price promoting to Colonel, just straight full bird Colonel, or whatever it is in the SAS, is pretty slim. So yeah, it's about 2023, and we're about 2 years away from the complete capture by the military by the drones, according to Black Ops 2. So if they remake that game, they definitely have to retcon all that shit because they're not even close. Not even in real life, but in these games. So our mommy, Laswell, calls to let us know that Makarov's escaped right before we're about to start a mission. And so immediately Price and crew are like, fuck this mission, let's go. So clearly that mission wasn't that important. So back to Laswell. Fuck. We head back to Laswell. So speaking of people's moms who are in this game, we head over to Afghanistan, where it's been another year of Farah leading the liberation force that has liberated absolute shit. And guess who's back? Alex. Yep, he's alive and he's fine. How? Not important. Also, Graves is alive. Hey, how'd he survive that? Blowing up that tank. Also, not important. Like, we're 2 levels in to this goddamn game, and it's already so ass. What is happening? So apparently Graves is delivering some supplies and missiles. Yep, they're back to delivering missiles. God damn it. To Farah, to perpetuate the forever wars that corrupt the American politicians that we love so much. She heads out to pick up these missiles from like a dock with some completely random woman that this game really, really, really wants us to develop an attachment to, despite her looking like a man. She gets not even 30 seconds of screen time, and then these 2 hombres get attacked. And this guy who's with Farah gets killed immediately, and Farah's like so distraught and angry, and she runs and hides, and it's like, I don't care that the person died. She's just some random fucking lady man lady, who's like mid transition and like had absolutely no story and no reason for me to care about her at all. Then we start the Warzone levels, which again, as I mentioned before, is most of these levels, and they're so bad. And the reason they're bad is because they're bad, they're boring, they're long. You can find orange gear pretty quickly, and then you become instantaneously so extremely overpowered that it just trivializes levels. Every single one of these levels is like this, by the way. They're also confusing. Like they're badly programmed. Like sometimes it's like go do this thing, and like I will go to like where the game's telling me to go because it like is being, even though it's an open world, it's like very direct. Like you don't get instructions like, hey, plant this bomb on this thing over here, and then it's like, okay, I got to go figure out that, which would be interesting. I got to go track this down, figure out where this is at. I can get more clues. I can listen to people talk. Like there's ways to do this, like an immersive sim, like Thief, the Dark Project or something, where you can like kind of gather clues and understand things. And this is just like, hey, you got to go blow this thing up. And then it's like, you open your map and it's like, ping, 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 that's where you got to go. And you're like, okay, thanks. And you go there and it's like, well, there's no place to put a bomb here. And it's one of those games where it's not just like, put the bomb there and you'll figure it out. It's like, if it's not shiny with like a picture of a bomb, because it's talking to like you and you're retarded as the player, then you can't put it there. So then you got to like wander around and like, is there like a second floor that I'm not finding? Is it on the roof? Like, the fuck am I supposed to do here, game? So, and they're all like that. And they're just so bad. whatever. You didn't do it from the right angle or some bullshit. Anyway. And then despite pretending to be an open world game, sometimes you get stuck because you entered a room the wrong way or something, like, which has literally happened to me twice during this playthrough. The one thing I got to give Modern Warfare 3 over Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1 in this series is that it worked. It didn't like stop working halfway through the game. It didn't like restart constantly. And I'm playing all these games on Xbox. Like, this is not, I'm not like, the torrented versions of these games don't exist as far as I could track down, and if they did, they're like hundreds of gigabytes, so I'm like, I'm good. But the Xbox versions are garbage, which is funny because Microsoft owns Activision, which owns these games. So like, why are they so ass? Like, but just the Modern Warfare games, like Black Ops 6 works great, Cold War worked great, World at War worked great, or not World at War, World War II worked great, and honestly, Modern Warfare 3 works fine. No issues there as well. But sometimes you have to restart from the last checkpoint because the game just like decides that it's not going to show you where the bomb needs to go, and because it doesn't show you, you can't put the bomb there. So it's just fucking terrible. Anyway, Farah has, instead of like blowing up the missiles or killing everybody, which you could easily do with her like OP items and her like infinite life and whatnot, she has to put trackers on the missiles. So she goes, and then Coney Group can take the missiles where they want to take them, and then we can track them down. Again, like, I don't understand why we're not just blowing up the missiles here or like deactivating them or something. But we can find their hideout, and then we can send Lieutenant Colonel Price and his gang to go pick them up, I guess. So she does this, and then she heads out to follow Coney Group, while Alex, her bitch, stays home and keeps house like a good little pet that he is. Like, literally, it's like, all right, we did it, mission accomplished. And Alex is like, all right, what are we gonna do now? And Farrah's like, you're gonna stay home and you're gonna make sure I have a sandwich when I get back, bitch. And Alex is like, yes, mommy, I promise. And it's like, I hate you so much, Alex. Why are you back? You're actually worse than Farah, like, who was also a terrible character. Oh man, they completely demasculate this guy, and like they like dehumanize him. It's even worse. Anyway, then we flip over to Makarov, who instead of being cunning and brave is just like a cartoonishly villain character, right? He doesn't, like, in the original Makarov had like all these schemes and plans, and like he was an asshole, but he had like a reason. Here he's just like a cartoon villain, and it's so bad. And we meet this chick who is a nobody, but at least she's like a 5 out of 10, which makes her the hottest character in this game. God damn. Then then to emphasize his cartoonish villainy, we see him call out a guy for not being loyal enough because he questioned something, not even questioned Makarov per se, just like, hey, maybe we should, are you sure you want to do this? And so he kills him and then makes this other guy leader of the Coney forces. But don't worry, neither of those guys is important. One of them comes up again later, but we barely see him. In fact, this whole scene is completely irrelevant. It doesn't do any good character development for anybody. It like doesn't really introduce anybody that we don't just get completely reintroduced to later. And it doesn't, it's like there's no point to this at all. Whatever. So back to Price and Company. Laswell has found some Coney traffic near a nuclear reactor, and so we all jump in, and then we get the next open world slop fest that is just terrible and boring. We're playing Price, and eventually we find that these guys are here to get gas, Barkov's gas. So apparently he made gas, and then someone brought some of that gas over here from like that factory we blew up in the first game, only now it's deadlier. Okay. And so we go in there to extract some of it. Or no, we go in there and we catch them like extracting it, but they drop some and it kills everybody in there. And then Price has to like climb his way out, and eventually like the boys have a helicopter and he escapes with only like a little bit of like lung damage, coughing up a little bit of blood. So now what do we have to do? The most important thing we have to do at this juncture is warn Farah. What? Why? Shut up, you bigot. No, for real. There's like, I was like, wait, warn Farah about what? Like, this has nothing to do with her. Like, Makarov wants to start a war with the West. He's in Barkov. He doesn't want to just have his little kingdom over here in like Afghanistan. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about Afghanistan. Like, what? Why? And then something. The reason we have to warn her is because there's like one of the missiles supposedly is going to be in a silo in Afghanistan or something. It's like, God, it's so terrible. Anyways. Price ends up meeting with Farah while the others go do actual things that can help somebody. And they bicker because Price finds out that Farah is working with Graves in the Shadow Company. And she says like the first sensible thing she said in all 3 games. And that is, I will take help where I can get it, which is a fact. for her failed like liberation force. She's like, if someone's gonna give her money or weapons, why not? Fuck it, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, of course, Price. And then Price backs down because she's a woman or something. At this point, he utilizes a drone and notices that all over this Coney base, they have flags for Farah's liberation force. So again, it's like, why? And it seems like they really want to do some sort of attack, and they want to blame it on her and the liberation force. Why would they do that? Who knows? We're already established in like previous games that she's like a super ally of America, but I guess that's how we're doing this. It's not the worst plan ever. Again, it's just like, why her and her like failed liberation that's been going on all this time, where she's clearly had support from like higher ups in like NATO countries, whatever. So Price and Farah are going to go and see if they can get this missile fixed up, and then we find out that the thing the other boys are all doing is that they're taking care of the other missiles. Lastly, Laswell is going to go into it's going to go after something at some base in Kostovia, another fake country. So we get another terrible open world map. In here, Price has to track down a guy, get a key card, and then we have to go inside a bunker. And as we're in the bunker, we finally find the missile, but ruh-roh, it's too late. The missile's already going off. So then Price has to race all the way back to the surface so that he can climb up and close the missile bay doors. And then the missile blows up and destroys everything into the ground. The other boys, they fail. The missiles go off. And the missiles are headed towards the base that Laswell's at. Ruh-roh. Meanwhile, we go back in time a little bit. Laswell gets Nikolai to drop her off near the base. Why is she here? She's here to meet with an asset. Yuri! Nope, not that one. Not the badass we play for half of the good Modern Warfare 3 game. Oh, not that other one either. You know, the badass from the DS Black Ops games that was portrayed by his comrades and had to fight his way through actual Afghanistan because Black Ops games are not cowards like these Modern Warfare games. And he joins the Americans and helps them like fucking rescue. Who'd they rescue? I don't remember. It's this Yuri is he's a total bitch. We get a totally boring open world. This time there's not even fighting in it. We just wander around. We have to like find a guy, just like wander into an empty building, and then we choke him out. We get the key card. Yep, another key card. Literally, I was like, who am I looking for? And it's like, that guy. And I'm like, okay, that guy. Thank you, game, for announcing that. And then I followed that guy, and he just like stood around with his back, like staring at a blank wall. And okay, cool. So then I strangled him. It took 5 minutes to get the key card. And then we used it to get into this storage room in this building, which took another like 3.5 minutes. So thank God for this open world bullshit. At that point, Yuri shows up, and they talk about Barkov and his research, and we talk about Makarov, and he's an ultra-nationalist, which is never defined. It doesn't mean anything. It's just some bullshit they heard from a better game, where it was clearly defined and had clear stakes, and there was a positive reason for it to exist. She then gets Price's warning about the missile attack, and it's too late, and she's got to escape as fast as she can. So Yuri's like, cool, I'm going to go underground. Good luck. And so he like takes an elevator in like a secret room down, and we never see from him ever again. So I don't know why he's here or why his name's Yuri, but there he is. Laswell then just has to like run to the roof and then hop on a helicopter that Nikolai saves her at the last second. Everyone else in this place, totes dead. Then we head over to some airport. There's like a news broadcast going on about the missile attack from the Afghanistan Liberation Army, and then we see we like watching through a camera. We see Makarov is going through security again on a plane headed to some town in Russia. I think it was Sochi. Hey, this is where the game ended in Modern Warfare 2 at the end of the credits. Cool. Anyway, we start playing as some chick. She is a liberation fighter from Farah. For some reason, she's in Russia, or maybe she's in Afghanistan, or I don't even remember what this made-up country is called anymore. I've been calling it Afghanistan for like 3 fucking videos now. Anyway, she's retiring from being like an elite fighter in her Farah's failed liberation army, and then this homie next to her is like really creeping on her and talking about her family. And at some point, he pulls out a pistol. She takes it and kills some guys, and then she gets beat the shit out of. They drag her to like the front of the plane while all these people are like watching. They strap a suicide vest on her, throw like a mask or something on her, and then they activate it. And guess what? Oh, it's Makarov and his crew. They all have their what do they call it? The thing where you jump out and you have a parachute thingy. God damn. Parachute. They have their parachutes. And then he takes the cell phone that she can use to deactivate the suicide vest and like tosses it down the hallway of the plane, and then they all jump off. And then so this Chica is like, oh no, it's just she runs to like get the cell phone, and then all these heroes are like, oh, there's this crazy Arab person or whatever with like a suicide vest. We have to stop her. And so then they stomp on her, and then the whole thing goes off and kills everybody. News feeds all over the world are talking about how Farah's group shot a bunch of missiles at Russia, and that they're probably also responsible for the plane crash, because obviously why not? Nothing definitive yet, and so Farr and Alex head to the crash site to clean up the evidence that Makarov planted, which is, again, another open-world slot fest, very boring and very long. We have to find like 4 cell phones and the flight recorder to wipe them all. At some point, Alex gets caught, and so Farah has to save her pet, and then we leave. Job well done. I have some questions. So, the Russians already think that your group, the Afghanistan Liberation Front, took missiles and used them to destroy one of their bases, right? Who gives a fuck about this plane? Like, you literally committed an act of war against one of the strongest powers in the world. Like, they're just going to be like, well, if we don't find a flight recorder that says your group did this, like, all they need is just for someone to be like, yeah, it was them. I mean, these are like governments in like real life. If nothing else, they just lie about it. Like, what? Like, what is going here and stopping this information? Like, or even like, how can you prove it? It's just like some lady. Like, you can't prove that this lady was a member of the Liberation Front, right? Like, because that's the whole point of these liberations, is that they're all like subversive and shit. Like, they're not an active government with like a supply chain and like human resources, and like they got do these people have like plans? Like, this is like fucking Al Qaeda, right? Like, like they just like exist as like, they can call themselves whatever they want, or ISIS or whatever, right? Like, no, we don't have like firm information. And then what we do have is intelligence. We have intelligence forces that are tracking all this stuff, which literally Task Force 141 works for, and Graves and Shepard and all these people are, and Laswell, who's a member of the CIA, who can all be like, they can like fight against that concept. But and then like, you took these, instead of taking these phones and just like wandering off with them and the flight recorder, you like wipe them or something. I mean, all Makarov has to do, which you didn't kill everybody here technically, is come back and just like replace it with some other bullshit. They can just like have a phone they recorded on that they kept with them, and then they can just like bring it over and drop it off after you come and do all this bullshit. Like, if Makarov's so cunning and clever to come up with all these like bullshit ideas, like he definitely would do that. Like, this level doesn't make any sense. And then the flight logs, you can just say like, oh hey, this woman who's been tied back to this Afghanistan Liberation Front was on this plane that blew up right after a missile attack from the Afghanistan Liberation Force, blew up our bases with missiles that they'd stole. So she probably did it, and everyone would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, it's just like the story is so bad. Like, and then like the Russian government's going to show up and see a bunch of dead Russian soldiers. I mean, I don't give a fuck if they're PMCs or not. Like, this plane came from like Afghanistan supposedly, and then it blew up, and then you have like Russian forces that are paid by the government to like do things like the Wagner group, and then they're all dead, and then stuff's like blank. It's not like, oh, there's the recorder, this is what it says. It's like, it's blank. So someone came over here, killed a bunch of Russians in Russia, and like Lord, give me strength. And then and then wiped all the information from these devices. Like, who do you think it's gonna be? It's gonna be the same people. Like, the fuck, the writing is so ass. Like, it's so bad. Like, I just can't understand why, like, someone wrote this, someone edited it, someone looked at it again and was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, no, none of this makes sense. I have a question. How come none of this fucking makes sense? How about I get my like 12-year-old niece and I'd be like, hey, can you shoot me some ideas? And she come with better shit than this. Like, the fuck, man. It's so bad. Whenever we flip back over to Price, they're looking at some footage of Makarov getting on the flight, and then Price regales them with like a missed opportunity. He's like, oh man, I should have fucking killed Makarov back in Verdansk in 2019. And this is all before the formation of Task Force 141. So we get General Shepard, who orders Price and his SAS team to find and capture Makarov, who's holed up. Where's he holed up? He's holed up in like a stadium, and they're causing like problems. But at this juncture, I'm confused. So, okay. I gotta drink some water. Goddamn game, dude. It's driving me nuts. All right. Walk me through this. Let's walk through this. General Shepard is, well, I don't know what he's supposed to be here, but in the original games, he's a Marine general, American Marine general. And he gets put in charge of Task Force 141 for a very specific reason, which I don't want to spoil anything from those games, because you should just go play the original Modern Warfare games in any means. I'm sure you can torrent them for free. They're so fucking good. But this General Shepard, he's an American general of some sort. Why he is a general. There's so many problems with this. So, where do I even want to start? Okay, so why is an American general commanding a British Special Forces team to do anything? Now, I'm not saying there's not joint operations. What I'm saying is, if a captain is leading a Special Forces team, he would get his orders from the major, who's the company commander on a special operations team, who'd be getting his call from a lieutenant colonel, who'd be getting it from a colonel, who'd be getting it from a general. At no point is a general calling a team, which is like 4 to 10 guys, to be like, here is your order. That completely just disrupts the chain of command. Second of all, Shepard's like, here. Why the fuck would like a 3 to 4 star general, who is literally a glorified politician, be here doing shit all? Like 1-star generals don't do that shit. This is not like the Civil War. Generals are not leading their troops in the battle. They're sitting somewhere else giving orders to other people to like, hey, this division, I'm a 3-star general. I'm in charge of the 25th Infantry Division. I got orders from the 4-star, from the general of the fucking army, that, hey, your division needs to hold on to these spots in the Philippines, for example, right? And then that general calls all his little colonels up, all the brigade commanders, and is like, all right, I'm going to put you here, you here, you here, you here. You're going to cover everybody because you're the sustainment brigade. Cool. Questions? No. Okay, make it happen. And then the general sits as far back as humanly goddamn possible from the front lines, because he can't die, because he's got to make all the major decisions, and he's the one who's got to move the pieces. Like, that's how this fucking works. He's not in a helicopter with a bunch of sergeants and a private and like some fucking captain to be like, all right, we're gonna roll in here and do this. Nonetheless, an American general. Like, what the fuck? Even if Price in 2019 is a major, if not even a lieutenant colonel, the point still stands. The general would not talk directly to them, and if he was, he would not be in charge of like the small ass team. Now with Task Force 141, that's a different matter. It's a totally different structure. It's like you can hand wave a lot of that shit away, because it's like a completely different situation, right? It's like this multinational / mostly British Isles led by an American guy and a CIA mommy, but technically, right, it doesn't matter as much. But they're definitely not involved in all this bullshit. Anyway, even if he wants Makarov captured, he would like, hey, figure this out, colonel, and then it would just be handed down until it's like, hey, your team is going to go here, your team's going to go here, and you guys are going to do this. It's just so much bullshit. Oh my god, damn. And again, just going back to like the original Modern Warfare, yeah, General Shepard is leading Task Force 141, and Price is like a legitimate captain. But the story is excellent. The levels are excellent. The gameplay is like an 11 out of 10. Second, Shepard is a real fucking character in those games. He has a real actual storyline. That motherfucker was in charge of an invasion force that got decimated. He led forces during like a Russian Civil War. Like, he has like a real vendetta against like the Russians for a very specific reason, and he demands to be in charge of this task force specifically for this, and they give it to him because they know he's like a hard charger. He's been a Marine for like 40 fucking years, and he's never like hands-on, except for like one moment, which makes a lot of sense when it happens. All right, I'm just trying to say much. I really don't want to spoil any of those games. You should definitely go play them. But in this, it's just like General Shepard's tagging along with the boys just for funsies. Like, we're just gonna go have a gay old time. So fucking stupid. Oh goddamn. Okay, I can do this. I can finish this goddamn thing. We're almost there. Okay, so in 2019, Price Hope and this guy Burns, we never heard of again. And again, it's a stop. Special operation teams are at least 4 people. Period. Okay, so why is there just 3? For this terrorist threat that is this huge thing. We have this super high value guy or whatever doing this thing. Anyway, so shots fired, explosive set, yada, yada, yada. The setup's completely stupid, but this is the best level so far in all the Modern Warfare games, the new ones. It's sort of just fucking a Call of Duty level. You run, you kill, we kill some more, we get some bullshit story, kill story, kill story. It was like, goddamn, finally I can play this game. And the story's actually not that bad. So the police were essentially all the police that showed up to this like explosion were Makarov's men. So we had to like fight them, and you know, his guys are just like killing civilians like crazy because he's a cartoon villain and whatnot. And, you know, if we kill civilians, we got to reset to the previous checkpoint. And eventually we get to the VIP box, and there's a bunch of paramedics, and they're packing up some bodies. And, of course, these are Makarov's men, too. And I was like, all right, I'm having a good time. Fuck, it only took 8 levels. Jesus. So we kill them, and Burn stays here to take care of like the explosives that are here. We kill our way back down to a parking garage, find an ambulance. Ambulance is trying to get the fuck out of there because it's Makarov, of course. So we kill the driver and we grab that son of a bitch. We take him out. We get attacked. We fight. We're eventually saved by Shepard and Ghost in a helicopter. Oh, that's right. My bad, everybody. It was not a 3-man team. I'm sorry, Modern Warfare 3. You did the right thing. Ghost was just he was point, or whatever you call it. He was doing sniper stuff in the helicopter, so you had all 4 members. All right, I apologize. That's my bad. But again, it just goes to show this is the best level hands down by the game. It's followed closely by the prison level, which I played a little bit earlier. And so I have to apologize because whoever made this level, aside from the whole Shepard thing, you did a good job. But wait, dun dun dun. And again, this is good. This is excellent writing. The stadium was just a distraction. The real problem was they were trying to blow up this airport over here. So Price got played, and he's not happy about it. And so Soap does the only reasonable thing. He tries to kill Makarov right there in the helicopter. But he gets shut down by Price, who's a little bitch, of course. And this... All right, it's time to address the elephant in the room. These new Modern Warfare games have no idea why the original cast was so good. None whatsoever. Now, I stated before that I've actually honestly liked what they did with Gaz and Ghost, who virtually had no personality in the original games. They did a little bit. They said some words, but this, I feel like they did a pretty good job of giving them some personalities and things to do and whatnot. And then I read somewhere that in like a mobile game or handheld version or something that they get expanded upon a little bit more, but I don't give a fuck about that. That's some bullshit. So we're just going to completely ignore it. So I already addressed Shepard and how he's just a disaster. There's a lot more to his character. Just go play the originals. Like, so you can either just play them on Game Pass. I think they redid the first 2, like they didn't remake them. They just did like the up-res or whatever. And the third one you're probably gonna have to attempt torrent or find it somewhere if you can't. I don't know. It's probably just on an archive site. It's so old, to be honest. Second, Makarov is a 1,000 times more badass. He's more intelligent, more resourceful, more cunning, like more cold-hearted, and he has like an actual reason to do his things. His motivation's better, and like literally, what's his motivation here? Like, what's he doing? Why is he trying to get after Afghanistan? Why is he fighting America? There's absolutely no reason. He's just an asshole. That's why he does it because he's an asshole. That's it. But Price, good lord, Price is such a bitch, man. Like, what has he accomplished? Let's list it out. Let's list his accomplishments in this fucking series, in the new one. First game, shit all. He yes miladies to Farah and to Laswell at least 3 times each. That's it. He doesn't do shit all. He just kind of hangs out, barely exists, doesn't do anything cool, nothing badass, whatever. Second game, he putters around, yes milady to Farah once, but to Laswell like 7 times. He forces Gaz to get involved in torture without giving him a heads up about it, and then he shames him afterwards for it. Like, I was like, motherfucker, you're the one who dragged me out here. Oh my gosh. I mean, he blows up a helicopter at the end to save the boys from the prison. That was cool. And that's it. Third game. All right, so he yes my lady to Farah a whole bunch, Laswell a little less so. He lets people who go free, who should have been killed. He gets knocked out like twice. We haven't even gotten to that. And he doesn't take care of his men at all. You guys ready for it? There are going to be some spoilers coming up ahead, so if you want to go ahead and skip, I'm not going to like tell you where to skip to, honestly. I'm not going to keep track of it, but if you don't want to get spoiled, I'm going to try to keep it as vague as possible, but just talk about his amazing feats from the first series and why Price is one of the greatest, and he's been voted multiple times in polls over the last like 20 years as one of the best video game characters of all time, like the original Price, like hands fucking down. You can Google this shit. But yeah, so I'm going to start spoiling it in 3, 2, 1. Get ready, boys. Here we go. That motherfucker raked up war crimes. Like, it was going out of style. First of all, when he snuck into Ukraine, blows a guy's arm off. I can't remember what his name is. And then holds off like 5 fucking like he holds off like a whole battalion of Russians while the guy, his like commanding officer is like out for the count, Commander McMillan or Captain McMillan or whatever. He's injured, and while he's doing this, he's dragging this old goddamn man around while he's under fire. He's shooting shit, killing dudes, calling in strikes, all this stuff. He calls Soap a Muppet to his face for his nickname of Soap, which is just cool as hell. He escapes a sinking cargo ship, he's last man out, right? He dives almost out of the helicopter. Oh no, he's not last man out. He almost leaps out of the helicopter to rescue Soap as he's last man out. He leads his team to rescue Nikolai, who's deep in enemy territory. He captures and tortures a guy who did the previously mentioned well, I'm going to keep that. Who did some pretty terrible things, right? But he literally tortures him, and he uses good old water torture, like waterboarding. He leads an international strike force which successfully stops the entire American eastern seaboard from being nuked. He gets blown up by an explosive that kills Gaz and Griggs, who's this Marine guy from Modern Warfare 1. And after being completely exploded and concussed and all this stuff, he still gains enough strength to slide a pistol over to Soap so he can kill the main bad guy from the first game. When his team is escaping an ultranationalist Russians in Ukraine later on, he stayed behind and held off the entire Russian fucking army here, these ultranationalist army, so that they could all escape. He then spent 3 fucking years in a gulag, and the whole time that motherfucker must have been doing pull-ups and push-ups, because when he gets rescued, he ambushes the guy who's there to rescue him and beats the shit out of him before he gets cocked down by Soap. This dude's been in a gulag for 3 years. The fuck? These are special forces guys. He then immediately defies orders from the commander of the whole operation. He leads his team to raid a Russian naval base so they can get access to a nuclear submarine. He launches a nuke into space to stop so that the Americans can drive off the Russian invaders. After being betrayed multiple times, he parlays with Makarov, the big bad enemy, to get intel on the guy who betrayed him so that he can take care of him. And then while he's parlaying with Makarov about this, Makarov's like, hey, once you get done with that motherfucker, I'm going to see you in hell. And Price is like, I'll start breakfast for you or some shit. What a badass. Oh my god, damn. After all this shit, quote, Price from the first game, the healthy human mind doesn't wake up in the morning and think this is the last day on Earth. But I think that's a luxury, not a curse. To know you're close to the end is a kind of freedom. Good time to take inventory. Outgunned, outnumbered, out of our minds on a suicide mission. But the sand and rocks here, stained with thousands of years of warfare, they will remember us for this. Because of all our vast array of nightmares, this is the one we choose for ourselves. We go forward like a breath exhaled from the earth, with vigor in our hearts and one goal in sight. We will kill him. Wow. The fuck? That's Price in the original games, y'all. I cannot express to you enough how much character assassination has been done to this guy in this modern series. Wow. This quote is up there. This is like the Dune mantra on fear. Like Lord Christ. Where is this fucking guy in these new games? Oh my god. Okay, I'm not even done. I'm not even on the third game yet. Holy shit. They then sneak into the base of the guy who betrayed them, escape a self-destruction sequence, escape artillery fire. Price then shoots down a fucking Pavlov that the betrayers is trying to escape in. And then Soap gets fucked up trying to fight this guy and almost killed. And so Price runs in and starts fighting this guy bare knuckle. Soap ends up getting the kill, but then Price drags him away to be backed out with Nikolai. And that's just the first 2 games. Are you fucking kidding me? Go play those goddamn games. I'm not going to talk anything more about it. Spoilers over. Jesus Christ, man. Price, it's embarrassing to go over all his accomplishments and then to play this game and be like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? God, seriously, man, do yourselves a favor. Go play the original Modern Warfare games. They are so fucking good. Price to the very end. To the very end. I still think about that ending of the third game all the fucking time. And I'm like, God damn, man. I wish I was half the man. I wish I could dream. I wish I could even consider myself half the man that fucking Price is. Wow. Well, back to this shit. Where were we? Oh yeah, Price is being a bitch. So, after yelling everybody with his sad story about not doing the right thing, the boys all rally around to I fuck you not, hug it out. Except Ghost. you could tell, is still upset they didn't kill Makarov after all this time. God, good old Ghost. They then get a call from Shepard and Graves. They argue like a bunch of middle school girls until Mommy comes along and tells them to man it up. Thanks, Mommy. Anyway, Shepard has intel on where to find Romanova. You remember who Romanova is? That's okay. That was that chick we saw for like 5 seconds at the beginning of the game who was not even named. Apparently, she's some sort of financial guru that does all the accounting for Coney Group. The group that Makarov is the leader of. So Soap and Ghost go to find her and have a little chit chat. This is another terrible open world level. I actually had a great time with this level because I started it and within like 5 minutes I found a grenade launcher, like an orange grenade launcher, and I just blew the shit out of everything. So as much as this level was terrible and served like no challenge whatsoever, I did have a little bit of fun. I can't lie. I mean, I beat the entire level in like 10 minutes maybe. It was so bad. Anyway, at the top of her like mansion at the end of this like fucking open world, we find Romanova. And then we like tie her up and we like have her computer out. We still have Makarov's money. She doesn't give a fuck. So we're like, all right, I got something for you. We start taking all her money, and immediately she flips on Makarov and is like, all right. Makarov's in St. Petersburg. Apparently he likes to buy old buildings and renovate them. With that, the boys leave and Romanova throws some kind of fit like a 3-year-old, like literally just like stomps on the ground and like, and we never see her again. Why was she in this game? I don't know. All right. So, okay. Over in St. Petersburg, we get like a scene with Makarov and that guy who was not the coward or not the guy who didn't trust him. Way back at the beginning of the game. And they're just chatting. They're talking about Romanova was compromised. Shadow, whatever, has intel. They split up. And then, so one's going to stay and one's going to go, right? So we can't get both of them at the same time. So then we head over to Price. He gets where the Soap and Ghost got the intel. Laswell uses her CI magic to identify the exact building where all this that was recently purchased and where Makarov's crew is hanging out. So Gaz and Price go to check it out. They drone over. They find the boss guy on the roof. So we got to start at the bottom, work our way to the roof, like some old-fashioned like beat-em-up game from the Nintendo era, or an arcade game from like the 80s. Again, it's open world trash. This one's a little bit more interesting because there's a lot of like very obvious traps around, but at least there's something and not just like a bunch of dudes we just kill our way through without any problems. Honestly, the traps are a little more annoying than dangerous because I fell into a couple of them and I was fine. So we play as Gaz. Price takes a nap in another building until we get to the very top and then he ziplines over. What the fuck, game? We could have just done that all along. This game. We could have just ziplined from the other building. Why the fuck did we have to go shoot our way up through those traps? I hate this game so much. It is so stupid. We head to the roof. We kill. We capture the guy. I think his name's Nolan, if I remember correctly. And then we set up a balloon, and we all get rescued by Nikolai, supposedly, ending that trash. Oh, my gosh. And again, it's like, oh, I remember the balloon thing where we had to like defend ourselves, and then Laser gets killed, and we rescue our beautiful Price. Our park and all that stuff, and this was nothing like that. We just had the guy unconscious on the ground, and then we just stand there with our overpowered weapons and our like 5 levels of armor. And I didn't even duck me at anything. I just stood there and shot guys, and then Price shot guys, and then eventually the level was over. And it was like, God damn it, dude. And on that note, I miss you, Park. That level in Cold War was so badass. Then we get another pretty good level, actually. Like, right? It's another one of these like regular Call of Duty levels, and you'll see the pattern. Like these levels are actually decent. And if the whole game was this, I would have enjoyed this game like 1,000 times more. But we keep getting stuck with these like open world levels that are just like boring as shit. Anyway, so this game, and again, the funny thing is, it's got to be two totally different teams working on this because the stories and the stuff going on in the levels for the open world levels are also shit. While the stories and the setup and the payoff for these like more traditional Call of Duty levels are badass. So there's a convoy going, and they got some sort of prisoner, and they're taking him to some prison in Siberia. And so Gaz and Soap are under this frozen lake, and they're setting up C4. And then Ghost and Overwatch is like, all right, they're there. And then Farah's there because she's the best sniper in the whole world outside of Ghost. And I'm like, well, at least Ghost is still the best sniper. Like, it was as stupid and bullshit as this is, especially because like Soap and Gaz are like top level SAS snipers. So like, and I've never seen her shoot a sniper rifle in any of the 3 games up to this point. And so it's like, why wasn't she doing this the whole time? Why was Alex sniping in the Death Road if she's the best sniper in the world outside of Ghost? Fuck you, game. Anyway, that's the worst part of this level. Stupid shit. Anyway, now so we're playing Price. Oh, Price is also under the water. So we blow it up, and then we swim around the convoys and try to find the prisoner. All the vehicles are sinking. We have to kill some guys, and then we pull them out and we take them up, and it ends up being dun 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 Shepard. The fuck? Wasn't he in DC? We drag him out of the water and decide to keep him alive as he has more intel on Makarov. And I'm still like, what the fuck did you get this info from? Where are you from? Like, what the fuck's happening? And Price calls him out. And then Price gets really emotional because he's a little bitch in this game. Like, he literally gets emotional. And then Gaz and Ghost have to stop him from killing Shepard. And it's like, bro, you couldn't kill Makarov, but you're going to kill this asshole? Like, use your fucking logic and reason. You're embarrassing yourself. Then we get word that helicopters are coming in and that we need to move to Nick for exfil. And then Shepard's like, give me a pistol and a jacket so he can defend myself and not freeze to fucking death because I was just in the water. And Price is like whines and moans at him some more. And then finally Gaz is like, here, man. Like, Gaz has to be, look, he's not going to do anything. Just give him a goddamn pistol so he can, like, help. And then finally Price is like, fine, he can have a pistol. And so once we get to start playing the mission, it's actually, like I said, pretty good. So we use thermals, and so that's fun because it's like everything's white and white snow, and everyone's in white camouflage, and so the thermals are like super helpful. And then the bad guys start using thermal camouflage, so then we can't rely on the thermals as much. We have to watch for movement and stuff. And I might say this is my favorite level out of all three of these fucking games. Like, I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of like good levels from like, or even like decent levels from like the original Modern Warfare games. And so again, it's like it's almost infuriating because it's like, hey, there you can write decent characters like Ghost, and you can and Gaz, and you can like design decent levels that are fun to chew through, but you're like actively choosing not to do this. Like, it's so frustrating, and it's kind of sad in a way because it's like you're just like spitting all over the grave of like this franchise. It's not dead, but it'll never be dead because multiplayer. But still, it's like the campaign in this. Like, please don't ever make Modern Warfare games. Just stop letting Infinity Ward. Just let Infinity Ward make multiplayer. Like, it's so sad. Anyway, so we kill our way through some Coney groups in the Winter Forest. We get to a sniping spot, and these guys have thermal camo, so we have to be very sneaky. We have to watch for muzzle flashes. This whole section's pretty good. It is hands down the best sniping mission in the new Modern Warfare games, period. So Ghost lets us know that he's coming under fire. Him and Farah are coming under fire in this frozen shipyard, so we kill our way over to them. We rescue her, rescue him. We then have to defend this position for a while as we wait for Nick to come in here and help us out. And it was just like, it was so good. Like, it was literally like, slow clap it up. I was shocked when it was over because I was like, man, I actually really fucking enjoyed that. Yeah, hands down the best level in this game. But right back to Warzone slop. It was nice. Nice couple levels in this game. So Nick takes us to Laswell, to Mummy, and we then get a very surreal discussion between everybody. Essentially, Price wants Shepard to go to Congress and admit that he was giving missiles to Farah Group and that Makarov stole them, and I'm just so confused at this point. So you want him to go reveal top secret information before all of Congress, which is being broadcast live? What? Or you let him freeze to death in Siberia? Farah even mentions at some point that this will clear her people's name, and that she's super pissed off at Shepard for what? This is the complete opposite of what you said previously, where you're like, well, we had to take help from somebody offered us help, so we were going to take it. So shouldn't you be grateful? He literally provided weapons for you to use in your 20-year-long failed liberation. Like, and you're mad at this guy for what? He gave you missiles, and then you lost him. Like, he didn't do anything wrong in this situation, right? I mean, he's an asshole and a betrayer, but like at the same time, it's like, what are you mad about? This has nothing to do with you. Literally said this shit has nothing to do with you in a previous level, but now you're upset. Like, she's so poorly written. And Shepard even kind of brings this up, and she's like, whatever. It's like, all right, mean girl. And there's so many reasons why this is not even like an illegal thing for him to do. Like if he went to Congress and was like, I have something I have to tell you, and it has to be broadcast live, they'd be like, no, we're gonna go to that top secret bunker we have underneath like the building, so we can have a conversation there, and then we'll decide what we're gonna do, which might just be like early retire you. Like, there's literally been generals who like sexually assaulted a whole bunch of women, and they just got like early retirement. Like, the fuck, no one's gonna care this guy like lost some missiles in like fucking Afghanistan. Like, they're gonna be like, okay. Like, I'm like, it's like, I'm like losing steam on even caring that this game is so bad at this point. It's like expected, right? The shit in these games is so bad, and it gets stupider. So Shepard feels that Makarov is going to destroy a dam to flood out Verdansk, and then he's going to blame that on Farah. So again, it's like, why? Like, he has a real hate boner for her, and there's no reason for it. So Ghost and Soap are going to go take care of that. Farrah then mentions that her pet, Alex, and the rest of her forces have found a base where Makarov is hiding out. So she's going to go assault that with the help of Shadow Company. When asked about working with Shadow Company, she says she trusts them and their AC-130 gunship, which literally, I'm going to scroll back up here in my notes, she's super pissed at Shepard because he helped her out with supplies. She's excited to work with Shadow Company. Okay. So Price and Gaz are going to go help with that whole bullshit. Because now, apparently, we just all trust Shepard and everything's going to be great. This all happens in the same cutscene, by the way. This is not like multiple levels. This is not like the end cutscene or the beginning cutscene. It's just completely surreal that, like, within the same cutscene, like, people just completely change stripes and, like, no one questions it. It was just, this whole thing is like, it's like these movies where they just, like, reshoot them 500 times and then they just slap them together and they're like, good enough. So first thing we do is we follow Ghost and Soap. Specifically, we play as Ghost, the first actual level that you get to play it. No, that's not true. There was the prologue mission in Modern Warfare 2. As Ghost, we just we kill ourselves around. We have to disarm the explosives, while Soap goes and finds poison off screen that was going to be used in the water supply. So it's like a double whammy. So he takes care of that. We then exfil with Nick. It's pretty straightforward, garbage, open world level. So at that point, we head over to Afghanistan, where Shadow Company is going to be ready for takeoff. So Graves spots Farrah and Alex. They literally hug it out. Clearly very happy to see each other. Gaz and Price walk off when they see this. We then play another very long level as a gunship gunner. Worse than the ones before. This is hands down the worst gunship gunner level of all time. It's just super long. It's like, oh, there's this stuff over here. I guess we got to shoot it down eventually. We shoot some helicopters down, shoot some planes, we just blow up. Eventually, they're like, hey, that chopper's got Makarov in it. Maybe. Let's shoot it down. So we shoot it down, and then someone's like, should we go check and make sure he's dead? And they're like, nah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Which, granted, Black Ops did this a couple times in 2 and, I want to say 1. But those games are good, so I'll allow it. This is not good. So it's like stands out. It's another thing to just be like, why didn't you just go wander over there or shoot it again with like some more rockets to make sure he's dead or make sure he's even in there. You didn't even confirm that he was in this. It's just a bad idea. It's always a bad idea. Anyway, it's stupid. Oh, then we get this like congressional thing. It's so bad. He talks about supporting Farrah with illegal weapons and how she's an ally, and then they ask about firing on Task Force 141 in Mexico, and then he denies authorizing it, and then they ask Graves, and Graves says, Shepard gave me an order, but I didn't do it. So they both disagree, and they blame the other guy for this thing that neither of them says actually happened. We then head back over to the boys. Farrah is not nearly as happy as she should be since her name's been cleared, and that's all she really fucking cares about. The word ungrateful comes to mind while I'm watching this, but incompetence in writing is the real problem. Anyway, Farrah and her pet head back to Afghanistan to keep losing for another decade, and I'm pretty sure that's the last we see of them. I don't really care. Thank goodness they're gone. The boys then decide they're going to head back to Britain, as Laswell has word from MI6 that Makarov and Koenig Group are now in London somehow. We play as Ghost because, literally like the very level before, we did not check to see if Makarov was dead, so he got away. So then we start the level off playing as Ghost, and he's just looking at CCTV cameras, and this is a very boring part of the game, which is... It's interesting a little bit. We're just like trying to track this hacker to a meeting so Soap and Gaz can follow him. So we just like switch between cameras and follow this guy as he like goes about his day. The game like waits for you to figure it out. There's like no really way to lose this, and like if you're not looking at the right camera, nothing happens, right? It's there's like completely pointless to doing this. You could have done this like in an exciting, fun way, but they did not. The boys then track down the meeting. They kill everybody. They get a flash drive. The drive contains a Trojan virus that was already used to take over London's trains. At that point, Makarov is spotted taking a train through the English Channel to France. This level's alright. It's a typical Call of Duty level. It's the worst one in this game. So out of the, and when I talk about top 5 levels in all 3 of these games, I did not consider it. It was not very enjoyable. We play as Soap, and we're with Price, and we're just like killing our way through the tunnels. Ghost and Gaz are coming like the other direction for some reason. Somehow they went to France and they are coming that way while we're going from England to France, so we can like pincer Makarov. There's like bombs that have to be taken care of. There's chemical weapons. There's like all sorts of like London police or whatever that are like helping fight. And then finally we find like the big set of bombs. It's like a whole bunch of bombs and a whole bunch of chemical weapons, and they're right in the middle of the tunnel. It's going to blow the whole thing up and like send poison both ways or something. So Soap's a bomb expert, as we previously discussed. He starts to defuse the weapon as Price and the other guys fight off and kill a bunch of dudes. Eventually they all die. and it's just Price, and then Makarov shows up, shoots them both, presumably killing Soap. Price tries to fight back, but he's a little bitch, so he can't. And then Makarov, as he reaches for a pistol, Makarov kicks it in his hand, and Soap gets back up because he's a real man, and stabs Makarov. And then Makarov kicks Price back down as he tries to rise up, and then he shoots Soap right in the face, this time killing him for good. At this point, Gaz and Ghost show up with their crew. They breach the tunnel, they start firing at everybody, and then Makarov makes a break for it. The Coney group guys create like a human shield so that he can get away. And Price is in shock because he's a woman who is shocked by everything. I mean, this is like a big deal. He like lost like this guy he's been working with for years, but instead of like, you know, being like a special forces guy who would just keep doing the mission, he's like, oh no, I mean, it's like he hasn't faced hardship his entire 20-year fucking military career. So Gaz, once again, has to like slap him and be like, wake the fuck up, we gotta finish doing this. And so they disarm the bomb. All right, the bomb. So yep, they disarmed the bomb with the three, and then the three of them just stand around and look at Soap. And that's the end of the game. So the closing cutscene, we see Laswell writing her report. She's talking about Makarov is injured and missing. Soap was killed in action. And then we head off to like an actually pretty good cutscene. So we see it's like nicely shot. It's got good graphics. I like everything that was going down here. It like means something. So we're like off in the Scottish Highlands. There's a cliff. The scene's really good. It's probably the best cutscene in all three of these games. The boys, the three that are left, are on this coast, and they say some pretty epic stuff. Like Price says, who cares, wins, rest easy soldier, which is like the best line he has in this entire trilogy. Gaz says, see you downrange, brother, we will take it from here. And then Ghost just says, rest in peace, Johnny, because they had that kind of relationship. And it's like, man, as someone who's lost soldiers, who's been in combat, who's done this shit, it's like, man, I wasn't gonna cry because I'm not a bitch. But I did tear up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was like, God, that was so good. That was excellent writing, right? The whole scene is so well done. And it's just like, again, I don't want to diminish it or take away from it too much, but it's like, was this a totally different group of people who wrote this scene? It's so good. And Price is written like actual Price. Like, why? Why is this game so bad? This was excellent. Like, oh my gosh, I wish the whole game was like this. I wish I didn't suffer through like 6-7 hours of this trash to get to this one good scene that like I think about like weeks later and I'm like, man, that was good. That was really good. Oh, Lord. Anyway, we get the game we get. Credits roll afterwards. In Shepard's office, Shepard goes to his office. Price is waiting for them, shoots him in the head and leaves. All right. Well, Price kept his promise. Honestly, this is the most Price thing that he does. Like, if you scroll on back like 30 minutes or however, whenever I went on my rant to see all that cool epic stuff Price did in the original trilogy, you're like, yeah, that sounds like something Price would do. All right. Whoever wrote this ending did a much better job than whoever wrote the rest of all three of these fucking games. Because between even the Laswell scene, so we'll start with the whole ending cutscene from Laswell to after the credits was good. I enjoyed it. It was a nice end. Hopefully we never see another one of these Modern Warfare games unless they hire people who actually know what the fuck they're doing. But yeah, there it is. That is the end of the Modern Warfare trilogy, who had the most tenuous relationship to Black Ops, period, unless the new game coming out this year ties it in somehow. And I've heard it's going to be a Black Ops game again, which please be so, because Black Ops games have never disappointed. But we got one more until then, and then I'll get that when that game drops in November. I'll put up a video probably in November, depending on when I get it and when I have time to play it, because there's going to be a lot of shit going on in December or in the winter in my life. So hopefully I don't get too far behind. But yeah, there you go. So go ahead and like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in a couple weeks for Black Ops 3, which is the final game in like the chronology that I've been covering here. So have a good one, and I'll catch you guys later.